A few of the villagers at Neil King had suggested I would be interested in the world of beekeeping. I think they both had eyes for my emeralds. The world of bees is an important part of nature, and with my knowledge of forestry, trees and bees, I knew there was also a profit to be made. It is important to weigh up your tasks and your plans against the profit to be gained. Even a good cause can be sour if there is no benefit to you. The famine could be held off, and my plans were to remove it totally, but I was only thinking of the citizens. I had not considered the need to repair nature afterwards. Bees could be the answer. Now then, welcome back to another episode of A Druid's Tale on the Magic Farm 3 mod pack. Playing with Nemsun. Yes, and I'm playing with bees today. I've actually already recorded, but for some reason I didn't record, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever. If you've ever recorded a YouTube video, you're supposed to hit the button to record, and then you start talking and recording, and then when you hit the button you stop recording, and it gets saved. And for some reason it did not save, so I don't know what I did wrong, but I've recorded an episode already, creating the apiary and discussing how I was going to do all of this filtering stuff, and then said, well, I'll just wait until the princess and everything is finished and they're output into the output slots here. And I explained it all. And then when I looked to see if it had recorded and gone properly, no, it hadn't. I lost it all. It's not there. So this was supposed to be like the last bit of the episode where I start figuring out how to do the transferring and pipes and stuff to automate the apiaries. And yeah, I've kind of lost it all, so I've got to start again. So this is what I wanted to do this episode. I wanted to get the basic automation of bees so that I can build up a bit of a stock of bee products, and bee products being mundane combs and the like, combs at least. And then I can start using those products to make more hives and more things, to make more bees, to do more stuff, right? The reasoning I had behind this, right, is because this single player is not on a server. So therefore, it is only on when I turn it on. So when I'm not doing other things, and as you know, I do a lot of other games and a lot of other videos on the channel, I've done lots and lots of things, and when I log on to here, I'm basically loading it up from where I left off. And so some things take a long time of just sort of standing around. I really should put it onto a server, I think. I think I'm going to have a word with Ego about getting an aim-to-game server, because he's got a kind of a sponsorship from them and gets cheap servers. So I might get a cheap server from aim-to-game and put the Druid's Tale on there. And who knows, maybe in the future, there will be opportunity for my subscribers to do some sort of contribution, maybe Patreon or paid subscription or something like that, or donation or something, and then come and join me on the Druid's Tale server. Eventually, maybe, could do, I don't know yet. I've been looking into this YouTube Red and all that, but I'll talk about that in a bit. Let's just show you this. At the end of last episode, I started sorting out these niterwort spores and getting them to grow, and I tried to make them grow in darkness. They did not grow in darkness. The glowstone should have been a giveaway, really. They give off glowstone, so why would they need pure darkness? I don't know, I kind of considered because they had to be grown on soul sand, and they were the same sort of thing as niterwort, niterwort. The netherwort needed growing in darkness, so I figured the niterwort would need growing in darkness as well. Not the case. It grows perfectly well in normal daylight and hydration and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there's a growing now, and that's just, well, it just literally grew there for us. Awesome. So that's growing, but all of these, like all of the metal seeds, for instance, they take forever to grow. And especially when I'm not on a server and it's not growing while I'm offline, if it's only growing while I'm online, it's actually taking a very long time. All of these seeds that I'm trying to get to 10, 10, 10 down here, They are all growing slowly but surely. I just recently took down all the middle ones and upgraded, so some of these should be growing now. They actually all look like they're mature. Maybe they matured while I was making the episode that you haven't seen because I didn't record it properly. Yeah, it looks like they're all done. So I harvested all the middle row, and then took the seeds, checked the seeds out, and then came back and replaced the ones that were negative in comparison to the seed I had in my hand. So I've put the best 2 seedlings down and waited for the second one to grow back again before I go down and start putting my crops in the right places, maintaining against weeds and letting the seeds grow and germinate to make the next generation of seed. But all of that kind of stuff takes ages and is done while I'm not recording these days, because you've already seen it in previous episodes. If you haven't, go and check out the playlist. You know where it is. Just go and check it out and see how I got to this stage in the first place. Same with all this, right? So all of this stuff takes a while to grow up and grow into. And what I've been doing is gathering the stock of the materials, as it were. So every time I harvest one of these because I've got a new seed that's better, I end up getting the produce and the seed back and then replant the new seed, and then I've still got the produce, which I put into the barrel. So the produce barrel becomes that. And of course, produce can be turned directly into more seeds. So there's 64 111 seeds that I can take for tomato, for instance, and then go and plant a field of 64 tomato plants. That's the general idea. So a lot of these that I've only just been starting, like 7 leek and 11 scallion and 6 cauliflower and all that down here, you can see that I'm not going to have or generate a very big field. As these seeds become more like 10-10-10s, they will yield a lot more fruits or veggies or whatever. So I'll be able to go around and just harvest them for the crop, so then I can turn the crop into 111 seeds, like I just showed you there, and then go and plant a big field of 64 of every type. Which is the aim of the game. The aim of the game here is not to feed me, but storyline-wise, I'm doing this big Nemsun's farm thing in order to stop the famine that is plaguing the dimensions. There are 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The apocalypse is coming, and one of them is famine, of course. The other one's war and pestilence, and there's other things. So I've got plans for all of those sort of bits and pieces to compete against. You can't really see because I'm in the dark. Let me go outside and show you this map again. I did a fair bit outside down at the orchard. I've cleaned out the orchard and I've planted all the orchard trees, and they're growing up nicely, but they're going to fill out this whole space eventually. And I'm going to put the bees over this side eventually in an area. So we've got bees and trees. I think I explained that last episode, but I'm not sure if I explained that last episode or not. But as it comes to that's famine getting sorted out. I want farming fields all over the place to defeat the famine. This is Nemsun's farm, and I want to make it as much detail as I put into the Chocobo Ranch. But I'm going to put the farms all the way around my building area here, make Nemsun's farm huge and big, and use magic and technology to farm the fields and things like that to make lots and lots of excess stock that I'm not actually going to use myself because I've got my sandwich machine which does everything for me, but of course I'm doing it for the sake of doing it, for the hell of it. Once you get to a certain stage in Minecraft, when you've got your own food and you've got your own shelter and the mobs can't get to you because you've lit up an area around you and you've fortified, you kind of like, well, that's it. I've survived. I've survived Minecraft. Get a badge. Achievement get, I survived Minecraft. And that is generally where you stop having the need to play, right? And the need to play to make videos is important, as you can imagine. If I stop feeling the need to play, then I'm not going to be making any more videos, and that's not what anybody wants. I want to keep making content for you guys. I want you guys to keep watching and liking and carry on getting new subscribers and all that, and growing and growing and growing and having lots of fun doing it and making lots of people happy by watching my videos. Yes, that's what I want to do. So I've I think that's the end of the point I was trying to make. Yes. I think the other thing that I was trying to talk about was that what's that? A blue flower from the Highlands. The bees are pollinating new flowers. Oh, that's awesome. I had not expected that, but I kind of know that happens. I just had not expected that I'd be getting new flowers from the bees. I was expecting just sort of vanilla flowers. Cyan dye. Okay, cool. Well, I can now just plant some new flowers around. That's cool. They could be really good for all my decoration. You know how I do all of my decorating the area? It's been a while since we looked at the Chocobo Ranch, but there it is. The way I decorate the area, I put some leaves and flowers and stuff around the cliff faces and all that kind of stuff to make it look neat and tidy and nice and overgrown and natural and all that kind of stuff. This whole area here I focused on for a long time, including that part of the building that's been focused on. This whole sort of section here took a long time to get going, and we've done many episodes on it. But now we're going to get new flowers. That opens up new opportunities for adding different detail and colour into old areas as well, which is cool as well. Okay, so yeah, Nemsun's farm. So we're making all the crops, and we're going to have fields and all sorts of stuff. That's been the outlook for the whole series so far. Now we're working on bees. Bees. Now, maybe I should just quickly go over what this is all about. So let's use Walia to its best effect. An apiary. There is a difference between an apiary and a beehive. Bee house, maybe? Bee house. Yeah, there we go. A bee house requires one comb and some wood to make a bee house. A bee house cannot be automated. You cannot auto-extract and take out bees and all that, but you can use the first comb you find by going and taking them from forests and trees and collecting beehives and all that. You can do that and make a bee house, and then from a bee house you can start doing all the things you can do in an apiary, but you have to manually take out the stuff. So when the bees finish producing, you have to manually take out the bee stuff, right? Just like that. You can't put stuff back in, but you can take stuff out. Apiaries, on the other hand, which cost slightly more, they cost this impregnated casing, are automated. You can automate them. So an impregnated casing is some wood logs in a carpenter with a little bit of seed oil. Now, I don't know if you remember how to make seed oil, but seed oil is made in a squeezer. So you need to make a carpenter, you need to make a squeezer before you can start doing any of this sort of stuff. The squeezer is a sturdy casing with tin and glass around it. Sturdy casing being bronze, which is an alloy of two things. Easy enough to make. It's just tin with some copper. 1 tin to 3 copper makes 4 bronze, and then you can make the sturdy casings, which use in forestry quite a lot. Add a bit more tin and some glass, and you get a squeezer. Also, the carpenter, I think I've already made one of these as well. That's another sturdy casing, but with bronze around it, makes a carpenter. And there's a few other things that you'll be able to find in any eye if you're playing along in the pack as well. There is also the next big thing after that, a big version of these apiaries, which is a multi-block structure which works even better, and you can actually put add-ons and things into it to make it even faster and better. But we're well away from that at the minute. To make me sleepy, because I've been recording for so long and I haven't actually slept for a while. Now I need to run down there before I get caught in the dark and die. Let's get over to my bed. At least I know where my beds are. At least I'm not out in the middle of nowhere. I'll have a few sleeps and get this over and done with, so I don't get this... I'm overtired. I'm going to sleep for like 3 days to make up for it. Hopefully I don't have any nightmares. No nightmares. The Druid in the story is trying not to sleep because he's having nightmares about the famine and how he's not doing anything quickly enough. But still, he's focused on getting these things done as quickly as possible so that his long-term goals to stop the famine and everything are going to be more successful. While all of these crops and stuff are happening and growing, I want the bees to also be happening and growing, and the trees to be happening and growing and all that. That's why I'm doing bees this episode, so I can at least have them automated running while I'm doing other things. That was the overall plan. And I basically just made all of these bits and pieces and showed you a few bits about the basic beekeeping and stuff. But now I want to try and get this automation done. I discussed having the transfer nodes from extra utilities or the item ducts from thermodynamics as the only two means that I could transfer these bees around. But that's not quite correct, because there is also router reborn, I believe. I think that, yeah, there's router reborn and routers from factorization, which is where router reborn comes from eventually. Actually, factorization stopped and router reborn, I think that's the add-on to it, or rather it's taken routers from it and made it its own mod. But we've also got refined relocation, and I think either of those two could potentially do the job with bees as well. I don't know which one would be more successful, and I don't know whether I could do it easily, so I decided I would try and set this up first, okay? So, what do we got? We've got, let's get rid of that. We have an apiary. We put a princess and a drone in the apiary. Let's take that one out for now. Princess and a drone in the apiary, right? And they become a queen. And once the queen's in there, it will slowly die off. And when it dies off, it'll break down into a princess and a drone, usually, with some produce in here. And then you take the produce out, you put the princess and the drone back in, and that becomes another queen, and it starts the process over and over again. So what I've got here, and what I'm trying to figure out how it works, is taking an item filter so that it will item filter a princess and drone. I don't know if this is going to be the same problem, because these have got different genomes and stuff, so they're slightly different metadata. That's the big problem for automating, getting the metadata right. So what I want it to do is take only the princess and the drone, but it's going to struggle if it can't find this princess and that drone in there. You see, it'll take that one. It'll take that one. But it won't take that one. No, it won't take that one. It can't take that one. Even though this is empty, it can't take the drone that isn't associated with that drone. But it will put them in, and put them in the right places, and we've made a queen, you see. It sent the princess and the two drones over there and made a queen. So that part of the automation is okay, but as soon as the metadata changes on these, and the metadata will change on these, let me scan this. The Beealyzer was something else that I made earlier. You put honey in the Beealyzer, which is centrifuging these combs gives you honey and other things. And then you can put your bees through this analyzer to give you the details of them, right? So this bee is going to be slightly different from the other bees, and I think that shows up in here somewhere. Yeah, generations in captivity. So while the overall everything about the bee will be the same as every other drone, this bee, the princesses and the queens and all that, may have a different genetic structure. See, this princess here, oh, I've got no honey left, dang it. The princess there will, the following princess, the princess that comes from the queen after, will end up being a different metadata because it will have been in captivity one more generation. And this is not trying to take this drone out, because it's not the same as the drone that was in here. This drone here. So this drone should go from there into the hive, but the other one wouldn't. Okay, we just made another one. It's because yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe that one didn't do the thing. Yeah, okay. So this one's been identified as the same, and so the filter should filter those ones out. But anyway, having that is a problem. So there was this advanced item filter from extra utilities, which I didn't even know existed. So it's probably in a recent update that's come into this pack. And while I was looking at item filter to do that bit, I also found this item filter. Now this item filter, you right click it when it's in your hand, and it shows different like exe files, And I'm not sure how that works exactly to add the filter into there. So it's kind of like, has subtypes. Okay. I want, like, is metadata, changes metadata or something. Ordic nugget, Ordic block, Ordic gem, dust, energy item, empty. I need the one that gives it kind of like a fluffy filter. If that makes sense to some people, then that's good. Fluffy filter. Yeah. I know you can add things to the original filter, but I was looking at this. Plantable default block item. Yeah, it's not doing it. It's not doing it for me. So I need to add something to this filter that allows it to take princesses and drones out and put them back in regardless of metadata. The problem there is that the drones that I put in are going to end up having issues. They'll probably end up a drone just sitting in there waiting for it to happen. On the other side over here, this apiary, we've got program servos, and we've got blacklist and whitelist. So if I whitelist a Meadows princess and a Meadows drone, and then turn it on so it stays on all the time. Well, I just set it to ignore redstone signal. There we go. And then pop those into there. They should get sucked out and put into the apiary. Whether they get put into the apiary in the right places, yep, it do. So it doesn't really matter whether we put it on the side or on the top. That was the other concern, whether you have to put them in a certain direction to get them into the right slots. That now made a Meadows Queen, you see. And that Meadows Queen will go through its processing, its life cycle, and will eventually get pulled back out using this. Just pull all things out of it. It should only pull from this output slot over here. Pull things out of it and put them into this chest, and then that should pull it back in to the chest. However, again, the metadata will change. So how am I going to filter out the metadata and have it set up? I could have anything that's called princess filtered out and put in the top. There's an option. I could have a go with refined relocation and set princesses to go to the top, and then they can try and hopper down into it. There's a thing. Do I have any refined relocation stuff on me? Yes, I do. I have that. I'll have some of those. This is now a new option for me to test this out as a theory. Let's take the whole stack. I can always put them away again afterwards. And let's see what we can do with this. So, I need a hopper as well. That'd be a good idea. Do I have any vanilla hoppers anywhere? Vanilla redstone. I think it goes in there. Yes, it does. Let's take a couple of hoppers. That'll do. So, there are ways and means to do this, I'm sure. I just haven't 100% got the right way or means. So, leave in the comments below your suggestions on how. And if you fancy making videos, do that as well. Yeah, do a video for me. That's good. I don't mind having a video look at things so I can see what's going on. I'm going to need to pull that out. So we'd go up a couple and across to a chest. And the chest would then have a hopper, which would go down into that. And then that would get pulled out and go into the next bit. So we can kind of mix things up here. Let's think about this way. So we'll have the thing there with an extra utilities pull out on it. I think we can use these relocators to pull out of it, but still, we'll just do it like this for now. And then this one can be a chest. Okay, so in this theory, this is the apiary block, and I'll change that around once this one's finished to do that. Let's just take this off there for now, just so it doesn't repopulate this queen into the princess when it's done. So we're going to have the apiary there, and the apiary is going to then get everything's going to just get pulled out of that side there into this sorting chest. This sorting chest will then try and place it wherever it can. So in respect to one thing, I could have a series of barrels and stuff along here with the produce, like a barrel for the Is there any combs yet? No, no combs yet. A barrel for the combs and a barrel for the drones and all that kind of stuff from it. So that gets filtered out. But I can have this set to princess. So I'll shift right click it and I could go with anything princess. And hopefully that would then take the princess from elsewhere and put it in. I think I need to have another quick sleep, which means that we're running out of time for this episode because I'm on my second sleep for the episode. And hopefully I'm tired enough to get rid of the night, because this will be annoying if I can't. No, not tired right now. Dang it. Because I slept so much earlier. So now I've got to wait until morning before they will be awake again so they can carry on processing. These will go from daytime to nighttime mode, and when it's not daytime, it's not bright enough, the bees will not explore and the bees' life cycle will halt and they'll just sleep for a bit. Like these guys are just sleeping for a bit. So I've kind of got to do a little cut while I wait for the bees to finish their cycle before we can test out this. And I'll also do a little bit of research on the transfer nodes to see if I can set a metadata filter on this. Alrighty, so I have waited until day and the apiary is finished, so these guys have come over here. The princess and 2 drones were what was produced by that cycle. And this is trying to take these unusual drones that were there and put them in. So let's pop that there for now and see. It just takes those out again. So it's refusing to take the new stuff out. It's only taking the original stuff out, right? The way I can make that ignore metadata, which is one thing I want to do, it's taking the drones, it's taking the princess, yeah. If I put that in and throw those in again, it will not take this princess. And it needs to take the princess. But this princess is probably a generation older. So what I need to do is filter this to make it ignore metadata. So we can put that, no, not like that, no. Crafting menu, I put that with a stick next to it, and that'll make it a fuzzy, ignores metadata. So now when I put this into here, it will take the princess out. No, it's not. Okay, so it's not ignore metadata. It is ignore NBT data. So now we've got fuzzy ignores metadata and ignores NBT data on this one, but I think it's the NBT data that is the problem then. Okay, so put that in there. Now will it take the princess? Yes. Now it will take the princess. So it will only take princesses and drones, but it hasn't got anywhere to put them. So let's put this back on top here. Pink. There we go. So now it'll take princess and drones into there like that. I do have another princess and another couple of drones, so I'm okay to put the drones in here. Let's put those 2 drones in there. Yep, they get taken out. So that will go back into a cycle. So that may be a possibility, having an ignores NBT data and only allows princesses and drones to go out and back into the apiary. And that should try and keep putting it in the apiary. The only problem there is that the drones here will end up being different to these drones. You see, I can't put them all in a stack because they are different. They are different drones. And that's going to be the case each time as well, which means that this may get clogged up with a load of drones that it can't physically put anywhere, which will bring the system to a halt. So I think what I need to do, and this is my idea here, is to take drones off that. So only princesses of any type, any NBT or metadata, any type of princess will get pulled out of the chest. So those will not get pulled out of the chest and clog the system up. So what I'll need to do is put a stack of drones here, try and just keep manually putting these drones in here until I've got like 64. Then I've got 64 cycles of the drones going through. On the other side over here, we've got this set up for princesses. So it'll transfer princesses across there. So if I put this princess in there, it should transfer up to that one, then go through the hopper, and the hopper then can't transfer anywhere. So I made another apiary while I was waiting overnight. That should go then into the right place there. Yes, it does. Okay, And then, again, the drones will not go into there without having that thing go through. But in this case, I've got a buffer of a sorting chest. The sorting chest is kind of a buffer. So I can have drones going into there and having this set up with Princess or any drone. Right? And so this should now put any drone into there, right? Which then filters it down into here, which then does this, yeah? But if the drone doesn't match, it will just sort of sit in the hopper, waiting to go down. Or sit in here, waiting to go down. My only problem there is 5 drone types later, and the princess can't get through the system. Again, an issue. Maybe I just need to put a stack of drones in there. With pipes and things, you could sort of work it out. There's also the filtered pipes on here. Maybe that's a thing that I could test out. On this side, what have we got? We've got Meadows drones have been moved back up. This Meadows Princess has yet to be moved back up. Why? Because it's a different metadata. And whitelist, blacklist, whitelist, stack size. Yeah. I need the more advanced servos to be able to make sure that that transfers Meadows Princesses of any kind up there. It seems to have done the drones all right. We got that. So I've got to decide which method is going to be the best and cheapest resource-wise as well. So the resources of making the servos for this aren't that expensive, but can be. And that's quite a neat little system. Yeah. This is a little bit bigger of a system because we've got one extra piece of pipe that's got to transfer across, and we can't have pipes connected to each other. So we've got issues there maybe. I could potentially put the chest right behind it. So it comes out, goes 1 block into the chest, and then 1 block out of the chest and goes round. 2 pieces of pipes, 2 nodes. This would be 2 pieces of pipes and 2 servos, so pretty much the same thing. And this is fairly expensive, but we do have a buffering system going on over here, which could work as well. So leave your comments down below and let me know which ones you would like to see, which ones you think would work better. And also, if you do any videos, I like receiving those videos from subscribers who want to show me exactly what's going on. Don't forget to do that as well, because that's always interesting to me, and I give credit where credit's due, and all of that business. But I'm going to mess around with it myself a little bit as well and try and figure out which is the best for me. Obviously, there is the Gendustry, which can be powered automated aviaries, or apiaries, should I say. Those are an option, but I don't really have a great big power supply base. I would have to probably just make my charcoal farm again. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't really have a huge power supply in this industry, so I'm trying to do it unpowered. And those 3 systems that I've been testing out today are unpowered. And they do the job, really, they do the job. The bigger multi-block structure for bees will do the job a lot better, and I should then get a lot more positive response from it, which the Gendustry power-hungry machines are awesome, but I don't really have the power base to be able to do that. Yeah. Alright, well, leave your comments and suggestions down below. Thank you very much for watching another episode of Nemsun waffling on about bees. I will see you in the next episode, where I possibly will be waffling about bees some more, maybe trees, maybe plants, maybe something, or do some more farming and building and stuff. Anyway, have a very happy Halloween, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.